Hello, my name is Water Rainbow and today I'm going to be telling you my top 10 favourite boss fights that I've made. So let's get in with number 10. Number 10 on this list is probably going to go to the Favorite Fights Code Corruption that I made, mostly because the design is really outdated and there are also no warnings which make it difficult. However, I really like how it turned out. It's fun and it's just really good. It's a really good boss fight. However, as I said, the designs, I've improved on them so much more from when I first made this. As well as this, I incorporated most of the things that Fangirl wanted in this, so there are a couple references to other games like Bloon. The reason why this is 10th is that I've made a lot better boss fights, but this one's also still really good. It's just the fact that I've made a lot better, I've improved designs, I've added warnings, I've made it a lot less difficult than what it was, well, what it used to be. Number 9. This boss fight is number 9 because it basically started everything. As well as this, the designs still hold up to this day. It's not that difficult, the attacks are good, however, a drawback is that I'm not a massive fan of the monster design. Other than that, the boss fight is actually really good. Number 8. Number 8 is the stand-eye boss fight. The main reason this is number 8 is because I'm not a massive fan of how difficult it is. As well as this, there are no warnings which makes it even more difficult, and not even I can beat it. I got stand-eye to beat it. However, the design is really good and I love it, as well as the background and the entrance where you start. In my opinion, this is an amazing boss fight, however, the difficulty really brings it down because it makes it difficult for people who's playing it. Number 7. Number 7 is my Electro's Experiments boss fight. This might come to a surprise, but I do love it. However, it's not as good as some of my other ones. Even though the design is perfect, the gameplay is very difficult, it's so good. It's just the fact of how difficult it is and there's no warnings. So you kind of have to memorize and play through it quite a lot, which does bring it down by a lot, just like the stand-eye boss fight. However, the design is really good in my opinion, and so's the attacks. As well as bringing out the sword, that was amazing. I had everything planned out perfectly. The only reason why it's so low is because of how it has no warnings, as well as the attacks are really unpredictable. Number 6. Number 6 will probably be Pax Graveyard. This one's kinda neutral as I love this. Design's really good, the attacks are really good, and the background, everything is perfect. The only problem that I have with there's not really any mechanics. With the next upcoming ones, there's either mechanics or it's a cooler design, which has been the case. However, this one is still one of my favourites. It's so good. As well as this, I loved making the boss fight, and all my friends enjoyed it as well. The only thing is that, as I said, I have got some better ones coming up. So now we get into the boss fights, which I think are the best of the best which I've made. Number 5. Number 5 is probably going to be Downtown versus Super Meow and Stand-Eye, mainly because it's really long and really difficult. Well, it's not really difficult because there are warnings and things, but I find the boss fight way too long as it's 4 minutes compared to my normal 1.5. As well as this, it took me so long to make, way too long than it probably should have. And it was just really difficult coming up with ideas for it. However, the finished product turned out amazing. It was perfect, so good. It's just the fact that it didn't really have that many things that made it unique, apart from the chase going inside the building. That was the main show for this bit, as well as the end fight scene, which in my opinion, it could have been better. However, on the bright side, this boss fight is really good, one of the best ones, and its design's amazing. The only problem that I did have was complexity, which was a bit bad because I ran out of it like around halfway through, but I only had like 300 left. However, other than that, it turned out excellent, so well, and it's one of my better performing boss fights, which I find really good considering I spent a long time on it. However, I wouldn't have finished it without Super Meow, so thanks to him. Number 4. For my number 4 pick, I've picked Lamau's Castle of Doom. This one is one of my favourites I've ever made and will continue to be. Mainly because I love the design, the background is really good, and the fact that you climb the castle with him chasing you is the coolest idea I think I've done, but it's not compared to the first one, which I'll announce later. This one is so good though. The only bad thing is the fact that there's no warnings. It's not difficult, however, it's still really fun and it will always be one of my favourites I've ever made. It is one of the best ones I classify as my old boss fights, just as it is just so good, and I'd recommend you play it. Number 2. This was an insanely difficult choice. Number 2 and number 1 was so close, and honestly they both should have won. However, for number 2 I picked Kazigi Rematch. This is because with the one that I picked first, I executed the idea I had so well that it just couldn't be second. However, this one is still amazing, one of the best ones I've built. So good, and it's perfect. It's just like one of my favourites. I loved building it. It was so fun to build as well. All my friends were there playtesting it as well, which really made me love this one, and they all enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. The grapple bit at the end is amazing. Kazigi getting hit by the plane is really good idea, and the wall breaking. It turned out perfect. So perfect. It was amazing. So, now onto my number 1 pick for the best boss fight I have made. So, what's my number 1 pick? My number 1 pick is Converse Quest vs Converse Remake. This one is so good in my opinion. The fact that the whole platform twists and spins to Converse liking is so good. It is the coolest idea I've ever had, which is why it came number 1st. As well as this, I executed the idle animation as well as all the other animations perfectly, and I had loads of attack ideas, and it was just incredible. It turned out amazing. I spent 6 hours straight working on it and stayed up till 4 o'clock making it in the morning. However, even with that, it was so good, and I was still really tired, but I still kept on working on it, and it turned out better than I thought it would. It turned out like it was just so good. I can't really speak for it because of how good it is. It's like it's the coolest boss fight I have ever made, and I think everyone else would love it as well. However, the main thing that I did have with it is it's very difficult with the spinning platform. It can randomly kill you. However, it's still first because it's just, the idea is so good. I executed it amazingly. It is amazing. The best boss fight I've ever made. So I'd recommend checking it out. So that is my top 10 boss fights ranked from a scale of 1 to 10. If you want to, you can comment which one you think is your favourite, and I'll give it a heart and I'll like it. So I'll see you in the next video.